Hello everybody, welcome back for some StarCraft 2v2 action. We have Goblin and uThermal going up against Wayne, aka Vanya, aka Rattata, and Milkicow. So it's a 2v2. Undercurrent is the map, I think first introduced during a Team Liquid map contest, I think number 12, where some of these players played. Wait, no, I think Goblin played in it, but he played with Hearthstone, and in the second edition he did play with uThermal, but that's lore for in a future video. Undercurrent, so relatively new 2v2 map, is in the map pool I think right now, but hasn't been like around for a couple ages, as some of these 2v2 maps have basically been in the pool since the start of Legacy of the Void, or at least the first couple years. There is a back base here. It's not golden minerals. For some reason, I kind of always expect these back bases to be golden minerals, but I think it's just one or two team game maps that have these golden minerals in the back. This is the uThermal 2v2 Cup January edition, and they are playing in the round of 8. It's a best of 3, and a winner moves on. No losers bracket. Let's see what happens. Wayne going for hatchery first expand. We see that super fast CC from Milkicow. The other side, uThermal just going for a Reaper CC. Goblin just doing standard Protoss stuff. Double gassing it up. And not getting a super fast Nexus. Of course, the Protoss player is expanding. And does find that super fast CC. See some weird camera shenaniganry, because normally it's 1 and 2 to switch between the players, but now there's 4 players, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Factory coming out for uThermal as well. We're expecting some Hellions out here, and here comes that Stargate out of Goblin. Stargate, of course, pretty strong in 2v2. Is he gonna go for the Phoenix? Is he gonna get fed by uThermal, or is he just gonna go for like 1 or 2 Oracles, force their opponents to deal with that, and then keep themselves safe, maybe even get a Void Ray? It's not super good, but uThermal does get into the base of his opponents of Team Orange-Red here. And this Reaper already has 2 kills to his name, but now there is a Marine. Marine also has gun, so Reaper does have to get out of there. Might be able to click down another SCV if he is on point here, but the Lynx and the Marine still chasing. The Reaper does start to heal up here. We see the Oracle making for Goblin in the back there. Some Hellions being produced as well. This factory now done for Milkicow. We see a second factory underway for uThermal. Oh, that starport wants to get built, but there's an Adept here now as well. Some chaos happening in the main base of Milkicow and Wayne. This Adept really wants to hit an SCV. Does get the one. SCVs do not really have a way of getting away from these harassment units. So this Reaper dude, look at that Reaper. 3 kills. The Adept are really helping out here. Speed is done for the Zerglings, and now Hellions and an Adept come in here. Oh. It's getting more good trades. Wow, this doesn't have like mineral patches or anything. You can just straight up run into their base. Milkicow might have wanted to make a wall there. I don't know how to English. Ooh, the Oracle's here. And everything is just going from bad to worse. More and more harassment units just running into the base of Milkicow and Vanya, or Wayne. And it's really, really rough for them. Look at this Oracle. 9 kills, 10 kills. That's insane. Now it does attack a Queen for a little bit, and its harassment days are over. Another Oracle's coming out. Another Oracle being produced. Gateway's underway. But we do have the double factory Blue Flame Hellion here for uThermal. Oh my god, Milkicow does get a really good shot with his Hellions onto the Hellions of uThermal. Now has to go back for some repairs. Third base for Wayne has been established. No drones there at all. So Wayne a little bit low on the econ here. 32 drones. But, oh, Milkicow's even further down into the dumpster, dude. How many did he lose? 14 SCVs have gone down. Milkicow is really sad. And we see a big assault here from Wayne, and Milkicow coming in tow. They want to get some damage done, and the Lings do surround the Stalkers, but there's Hellions and Blue Flame Hellions. Or, well, not Blue Flame yet, but just a bunch of Hellions from uThermal there. And they withstand that attack with ease, the greatest of ease. And this is going from bad to worse here. Whoa, what is this? Okay, enough ADHD out there. uThermal now going on the counter-offensive. Blue Flame about to finish, and these Lings are not going to be happy seeing those Blue Flames going, or the drones going up in Blue Flames together with the Zerglings. Boom, look at that. Nice surround, though, from Wayne, but if you only have Lings to defend against Blue Flame Hellions, you're in for a rough one. Oh my god, big chunk into the drone line there. I think the drone line on the third isn't even populated yet. And we see all of the drones of the second base going down. And unless there is some type of miracle being worked here by Milkicow and Vanya, or Wayne, it's going to be really bad. Third CC underway for uThermal. Goblin getting his third Nexus as well. Oh my god, just look at this. Milkicow just making more command centers. He's like, well, we're dead unless we get big economy. Wayne, of course, making sure that his opponent can or cannot expand. I'm not sure if you could still fit a base in there. That's classic, where you just have to kill your opponent's creep tumor. Luckily, nowadays, the creep recedes a little faster. Back in the day, it took like ages. Ooh, uThermal scanning it out, and he's just like, whoa, that's 4 command centers. Maybe we can punish that. 3 Oracles and 9 Stalkers on the map with a lot of Hellion support. And these Hellions, we saw it in Lemon versus Deer as well. Or Lemon and Deer versus uThermal Goblin, that these Hellions are just ruthless. They just keep coming in. They don't care for their own life. They're like fantasy terrorist-style Hellions, but, you know, they wish they were vultures. Wayne does have a 4th base, but just doesn't have any drones to populate the bases. 40 drones against the 50 SCVs of 50 probes. So the red-orange side definitely down in the work account. Some Hellions come in, find a probe line that is just not populated yet. A lot of Stalkers on the map. Do we have any upgrades? We do have +1 for Wayne. So we saw Deer do that as well. Go for the +1 Zerglings. Just don't bother with the gas too much. That is kind of cool. If you have a lot of Lings, you can get a lot of map control. But uThermal, he's a-okay with that. He's like, I have 2 factories pumping out Hellions, and he's going to try and run into this natural once again. Wayne is going to lose some more drones here, baby. And can't be happy with that. Goblin knocking on the front door. This Liberator not pre-sieged. We do have some Vikings on the ground doing that extra damage against mechanical, but more drones have died. Let's look at the 31 drones lost. Look at that, 31! We did see 30 Hellions have died here for uThermal. Now he's transitioning into Thors, getting more factories online, has double armory as well, and even going to be making some missile turrets just in case. But, I mean, look at the supply. Wayne and Milkicow are struggling. They've been struggling for a while. Big blinking gets the Liberator, and the mines also don't get great connections. Now all of the bio gets completely annihilated. Some Lings come in to try and assist, but these 3 Oracles alone could be a nemesis or a menace. And now there's a bunch of Blink Stalkers as well. I don't know if they can even hold off this attack. And no, they cannot. Wayne calls the GG for his team, and with that, Goblin and uThermal take game number 1 pretty goddamn convincingly. Hellions in the 3rd base as well. How many 50 drones have died and 24 SCVs to the 6-1. Like, these guys harassed them out of the game. They were never really playing the StarCraft. I kind of liked Wayne's position where he was going to go like Massling, try to like be annoying, make both of these players react to the fact that it's Massling, especially Protoss doesn't like playing against that. But like, it's almost getting hard countered here by uThermal, just going for the Blue Flame Hellions, and Wayne just not really having the cash to go into like some sort of a Roach Worm play. Didn't like try and wall it off or anything, just wanted to play it no wall at all. And Goblin, I mean, he just made Oracles, played a steady macro game, didn't overstretch it, didn't like take that 3rd right away, and then the Hellions came in and it was like, wow, you didn't greedily invest in a bunch of probes that I can now kill so they don't pay for themselves? No, You were already ahead, so you were investing into infrastructure and tech, making sure that you could just, well, build an army that would beat any type of all-in play that we could do. Instead, we saw Milkicow go for like a really economic play, hoping that they could hold on the ramp. They could not. Let's swiftly move into game number 2. And for game number 2, we load up into Reclemation LE with uThermal Goblin taking the first game, going for their own low or high ground walls, not walling together, which we have seen them do on this map in previous series. And on the other side of things, we of course have Wayne and Milkicow. We want to see them change it up a little bit, punish this fantasy channeling uThermal that is just throwing Hellions at them and trading them for workers. Don't want to let that happen again. And let's see if they have some kind of cool strategy in mind. We do see a gas pool before the pool or a hatchery here. So let's see what that is. Is this going to be like a Ling Ravager attack with, I don't know what you make as Terran with that. You could just go for the Hellions. Could go for like a Hellion Cyclone. Maybe like a Hellion Siege Tank if it works. Where you go like a Tech Lab reactor and then you make like 1 or 2 siege tanks just as an anchor. Ooh, a barracks goes down from Milkicow with another barracks, so it's gonna be pretty fast circling speed and probably Reapers here. That is pretty cool. We did see uThermal pull out the 3 racks Reaper into +1, 5 racks Reaper in their Lemon vs. Deer Game 1 series. So let's see how that works out. And Wayne does throw down the hatchery. Goblin, though, is scouting about. But did not see the hatchery, but did see this gas pool. Is now seeing this one. Barracks only sees the 1 gas, so he's a little bit, huh? Where's that CC? And now he sees no CC. Maybe, baby, he can kind of decipher what's going on here. Factory going down for uThermal, getting a reactor, getting a CC. Has a 1 Marine. We do see an Adept coming out here. Stargate coming out as well. You kind of want to chrono this Adept or something. Because you know that maybe fast Speedlings are coming. And then also like 1 or 2 Reapers. What do you do against that? As the Protoss, if you are alone and uThermal can't help you, you are in a grave danger. So let's see if Milkicow and Vanya do get that 2v1 scenario that in 2v2 is so problematic. If it occurs, let's see. Did they scout the racks? No, they did not. Third hatchery's also going down for Wayne, which I keep calling Vanya for some reason. And this Reaper does kill that 1 Marine. The Adept comes out. Oh, doesn't finish his shade. So this Reaper now is in the main base, but the Hellions are about to spawn. Hellions will deal with this Reaper. And it dies with, what? 1 or 2 kills under its belt. 1 SCV did go down. Bunch of Speedlings now approaching. Are going across the map. This 1 Reaper's chilling. Was probably rallied to the dead Reaper. And then the rally point resets if the unit dies. So Reaper's chilling there. These Lings trying to pressure a little bit. Get some map control. Wayne and Milkicow know that there's no expansion as of yet. They didn't even see that CC. So they might think like, oh, our opponents are 1 basing. What are we going to do about that? First Oracle is out for Goblin. Is getting a second one. And behind that, Wayne about to finish up his 3rd base. How are the workers looking? Little equal on both sides, or pretty much equal, but bases are already up for Milkicow and Wayne, so they are in a pretty nice position. Queens, oh my god, the Goblin Oracle flies into it. Wayne, if you micro your queens there, you literally kill the Oracle. Go into a practice map, guys. Just move, command, click 1 Oracle over 2 queens, you can kill it. God damn. I feel strongly about that because I practice that. And it rarely comes up, but when it comes up, like, it feels so good. Ooh, Stim is coming up. More Marauders being built here by Milkicow. He has a factory, but no starport. Has a fast 3rd CC. Little ballsy in 2v2. And the Hellions are coming in here. No SCVs to snipe Mr. uThermal. Just 9 Hellions, and he's getting the blue flame once again. So we see the mech. The mechaning is happening. And Wayne throws in a bunch of Lings into the Hellions. Does get us around on the one. They do find the other barracks. But no drones have been killed, and these Marauders are gonna make quick work out of those Hellions, especially if we end up getting concussive grenades on those Marauders. Hellions still marauding around the map. And look at that. 3 Oracles just chilling. Couple sentries. And at the back of that, Goblin is building up. Doesn't have any additional tech just yet. No Robo, no Twilight Console. And uThermal just applying a lot of pressure, so Goblin can build up behind it. These Lings did get the sneak around, but these Hellions are falling back. See a scan going down. The bunker has been spotted, and the bunker's getting salvaged right away. There is a tank now for uThermal as well. Does not have an armory or anything yet. And Wayne, these Overlords are giving a lot of vision to Milkicow and Wayne, and the colors are all over the place in this this game. Oh my god, that Tech Club was actually sniped by uThermal. Didn't catch it the first time around. The Blue Flame Hellions get a couple of Marines, or just the 2, then have to get out of there. The Queen, the Roaches, and the Marines will deal with the Hellions. Oracles are going to fly back. They did try to harass a little bit here at Milkicow's base, but there's a turret, there's a Cyclone, and apparently it was held off quite well. Let's see, 4 SCVs, 4 probes, 1 SCV, no drones. So, not a lot of workers dying this time around. Creep Tumor does go down there. These Hellions not really finding the same damage as they found in game number 1. And Wayne and Milkicow are getting in a more comfortable position. Let's see what the worker counts are like. 55 drones, and he's even getting it to Roaches, getting a 4th base. Milkicow getting a 3rd base as well, and they are just rapidly expanding. And this time around, uThermal and Goblin are kind of lacking behind because they are not getting that damage done. Like in game number 1, they were slowly expanding, but definitely expanding, and because of that, not out-expanding their opponents, but just had better worker counts. But this time around, when you don't get the worker count damage, oh, the Oracles do click down the Cyclone. 1 Oracle does get clicked down by the Cyclone and Marines. And we do see a couple SCVs going down there. Oh, the Hellions come in and did not shoot. But now they do get a lot of hits onto all of those Hellions, or Marines. And the Marine count has been completely reset. And I feel like uThermal's pretty happy trading his mostly harassment force against actual army units out of Milkicow there. We do see a decent amount of Roaches, 14 Roaches on the map. We do get the Infestation Pit and +1 range. Let's see what Wayne is going to use that for. Is he going to transition into Hydra Viper, or like Festers into the army? Maybe goes for Lurkers. And maybe it's just for a Hive and more upgrades, but I don't think so yet. Could be Swarmos as well. That would be Poggy, but I feel like Swarmos are kind of bad in 2v2. Because there's just more units to deal with the Locust earlier. Station Pit about to finish. Does get scanned. uThermal really throwing down the scans just to get that scouting in. And these Hellions do suicide in, hold back this army a little bit. Goblin is at the front trying to pick off a couple of units. Has some Stasis Wards to play with. And can maybe pick off a couple of units here. We do see +1 finishing for Goblin there. Ooh, gets a nice Stasis Wards on a couple Roaches. Now clicks down the 1 and is kiting back this assault slowly but surely. But if you look at Wayne's supply, he's just pumping out the Roach. And he's making more. We do have a bunch of siege tanks here. And they will deal with Roach Ravager real quick, which is why Roaches feel so bad in 2v2. Especially. Siege tanks are just kind of always made. Milkicow, though, is also getting a siege tank. They could perhaps siege down this PF. Is not even going to be an orbital. But we also don't have the gases. Kind of felt like uThermal was going like super mech. He's even going double upgrades. I guess he just hasn't had the opportunity yet to get those geysers. One of those tanks does get biled down. And now Milkicow has a siege tank that will start sieging this base. We also get a drop into the Bane, and uThermal not in position at all. And Goblin not in position either. Now he's running up, but uThermal can't mine from that base for a little bit. We do see the tanks coming forward. Ravagers are in position. The corrosive valves go down, and even links to tank. Very nice, but the PF does survive. Tank here did get hit by 1 bile, but not enough. Goblin shoos away this force, but still no mining there for uThermal. Ooh, the Roach and the Ravagers walking it again. They kill this 1 tank. No, the biles are spread out. 1 tank does get killed. The other one does get repaired, but uThermal losing a lot of mining time and just money in general. A big drop from Milkicow in the main as well for Goblin. Goblin has some units here to try and defend, but he's losing a lot of Stalkers to these Marauders. There's even a Phoenix here lifting up the one Marauder. All of the units do die in the end. But Wayne, look at Wayne. Look at all of that supply, even getting 4 Vipers. That's going to completely shut down uThermal in this game. There's nothing to deal with the Vipers, and if we get like 2 Blinding Clouds on the tanks, like Milkicow can advance, run in with the stim units, and all they have to deal with stim bio is these tanks, and that's a lot of tanks, but the Lings of the Ravagers and the Roaches are getting on top of all of the tanks. That is detrimental to the defense of uThermal and Goblin. Only 1 tank from this entire Panzer division still stands. But somehow, someway, Goblin still has a little bit of army standing. No harass happening anywhere else. So they are holding for the time being. But we did see a lot of Vipers coming out. Hydras are now the transition for Wayne. Doesn't have any of those Roaches anymore. And a big drop. Again, going to the main of Mark. Or a... God damn it. Of uThermal. But the thirds are not done. The SCVs are pulled off the line to tank. We have some Hellbats as well. Blink Stalkers are here to... ready to grab them, but Milkicow, he sees it. He is watching, and he does not lose his medevacs there. Does not lose the units. If we look at the supplies, ooh, Goblin really, really painfully behind now. 81 SCVs for uThermal. Wow, he's been cranking those out. And oh my god, here come the yoinks. All of those tanks just dying for free. And this is the beginning of the end. The fat lady starts warming up her throat. Wow. Just like me. Because these zealots run in, they die. The PF gets cancelled, gets killed. And there's just a couple Stalkers here. Goblin does take a 4th base, but look at his supply. He does not have an army. He has barely any army. 8 Stalkers is all he has. And all of them are kind of on the right there. And Milkicow now moving up the ramp. Doesn't quite get a position there. And these unsieged tanks just moving into a bigger army with unsieged tanks. Now the last couple tanks go down. There's one here in the back. Maybe he can convince his opponents to slowly but surely move back. Stalkers come in from the back, snipe another tank. Goblin and uThermal just fighting like wild dogs and staying in this game with tenacity. But oh my god, Wayne, your army is so big. 200 out of 200, a lot of lurkers, Roaches and Hydras even running into Goblin's natural. Let's look at the upgrades, even 2-1 for Wayne, and he's just carrying this game right now. Milkicow making sure that his opponent is completely getting dropped all the time, putting siege tanks to anchor the fights, and now, I mean, Wayne just has too much, I feel like. We don't have a siege line from uThermal. The Vipers are just going to keep dealing with it. There's nothing to deal with the Vipers. There's fighting happening all over the map, but Goblin literally has 1 base remaining, and that's why the GG comes out. That's a 1-1 in this best of 3. Goblin and uThermal bleed. And Wayne and Milkicow hold off the early shenaniganry that these players have been bringing. Do some solid mid-game pushing and then just extend their lead, get more bases, get the workers on those bases, and then these Viper boys, or girls, or, you know, anything on the rainbow. I don't know what Zerg are. They really, really shut down this game as soon as all of those tanks were dealt with. I mean, the first time was already bad with the Roaches and the Ravagers and the Lynx getting on top of them. That is bad. But at least you get some type of a trade for those. Like, some units die for that. But the Vipers just... yoink! Get over here! Just kill all of the expensive units from uThermal. Was never able to keep his 3rd base running. Got dropped multiple times. Look at this turret ring. He just has PTSD out of this game right now. Probably never wants to play this map again against other Terran opponents. And we're going to go into a game number 3 and see who takes this series and goes on to the round of 4. And for game number 3, we'll load up into Breakwater with Wayne and Milkicow, taking game number 2 pretty convincingly against Goblin and uThermal. And colors are all over the place. And they are going for high ground wall. Sometimes we see them do the low ground wall. They did that against Lemon and Deer. And uThermal did end up going for like that super high Reaper count early on, and they just harassed the ever-living F out of their opponents. Just like they did in game number 1 of this series, but they might have to change it up here, because those mass Hellion commitments didn't really pay out. I feel like the Hellion and Oracles were kind of still worth it, but then the transition just wasn't as clean. The siege tanks didn't quite do enough to immobile, and then as soon as the dropping happened, and if the Blinkstalkers aren't in position or a Goblin takes like one bad trade, ooh, it just goes from bad to worse. It looked pretty good, but Wayne just macroed up consistently, always had a strong army, took good trades, and then once the Vipers got out, whew, those really, really did a number on his opponents, because it's just hard to deal with Vipers. Didn't have any Ghosts, didn't have any Vikings, no like Phoenix or feedback like High Templar. Wayne going for a hatch first this time around, going into the gas pool. So not going for that early pool, getting those speedlings ASAP. And we do see the one uThermal Reaper CC being built to the right of this base. I guess they were kind of like indecisive of who was going to take that base. Maybe there was another worker, but uThermal can just fly it over, so kind of cool. Ask the Terran to just make your base like to the top or the right of the spot, and it's kind of like, if my teammate doesn't want it, I can just fly it over, and otherwise I can just fly there. And from here, I'm closer to defending it, so kind of cool. Wayne's Overlord going across the map is going to see what it can see, and Marauders are being built with concussive shells here from Milkicow. I kind of like that a lot. Concussive shell Marauders, dude. That's kind of cool. Just a couple to make sure that any Reaper count gets shut down right away, but this Reaper threads the needle very nicely, kills that SCV, delays the base, and is going to get out. This drone wants to be a hatchery real bad, but gets shot a couple times, maybe gets a purple heart when he gets back home, but doesn't die. Another drone does try and go to that third base location, but Wayne, that's kind of hopeful thinking, but oh, uThermal doesn't quite see it in time, and the third base goes up for Wayne. This CC is done. It's not going to fly across the map and become a planetary fortress, which of course these guys do like doing those planetary fortress rushes, but you'd have to go watch uThermal's actual video for that. Now before the action kicks off further, oh my god, the Reaper does go down. Be sure that you subscribe to the channel, leave a like, comment, whatever. Just bump the numbers if you like the 2v2 content. I'm going to do a couple more before we go back to probably Homestead Cup. Finish up a couple of the group stage games, although the lag was kind of annoying, I want to say. Adept gets into this mineral line, and uThermal and Goblin just are very committed to just keep throwing units into the base of their opponents. And Wayne and Milkicow do have to run around all the time. Here comes this Oracle as well. 2 kills on that bad boy. Now gets into this mineral line, and that is the power of those early harassment units. All of the units of your opponents have to be made to deal with it. And here come the Hellions getting completely hard countered by that concussive shell. Half of the Hellions just can't even get out anymore. And usually that's kind of the pain point, right? Like the Hellions run in and they're like, oh, I can't harass here. And they go back. And nothing is up. But now, the Hellions actually can't get into a base, but they also get punished if there are Marauders on top of the ramp, etc. So let's see what Milkicow is thinking about. He's getting a starport with his double barracks, so he's going to get more bio units here. Wayne does have his third base, and he is getting a roach warren, extra gases as well. So 3 gas roaches. Let's see what happens. uThermal making a nice centralized bunker here to try and defend. He does have siege tanks coming out. He has a Banshee with Cloak researching. Second Banshee can't be made. Little supply by lock. 3 Oracles, but you'd expect there to be spores, right? I guess if you are in the middle of the map, the Banshees maybe even are like army units. If you get Banshee speed after the Banshee Cloak, you might actually be able to stop every type of assault. Milkicow showing that he doesn't have a lot of Marines as of now. But I feel like whatever counters these Oracles is also going to counter the Banshees from uThermal here. But the tank's always going to be useful. Third CC is going to go down. And there is a bunch of roaches from Wayne coming across the map. Do we have a lair? No, we do not have a lair at all. This is a pretty committed assault. 42 drones. Wayne is supply blocked. Does make a bunch more overlords. Has a bunch of gas to make ravagers. And he's doing some ravager ling together with his ally. That is just making a bunch of bio. And where are the medevacs? The medevacs are really good because Zerg units are also biological. I mean, it's not as good, but it's still pretty good. And look at these Banshees cloaked, get on top of the army. And roaches can't shoot up, or ravagers, I mean, technically, I guess. Ooh, big recall there from Goblin. Keeps a lot of his caught stalkers alive, but this is a big amount of stasis wards. Just completely delaying this push. We do see a layer more Zerglings coming out from Wayne behind that. He could go into Mulisks even, because he does have a decent gas stockpile already. He has the lair coming up. Maybe. We do have another stasis ward that might... Oh, Wayne didn't see the stasis ward. And over here, oh my god, Goblin. We saw the tail end of that. Takes down that drop from Milkicow. There is no blink, and now the first siege tank comes across, or at least the first one we see in this area. And this siege tank can be really rough to deal with for uThermal and Goblin if it gets a nice position. Stalkers can't get near that tank right now because of the lings, because of the roaches that are ravaged. Do have a couple tanks over here from uThermal. 2 are already defending, 2 more coming in. And stalkers from the right, stalkers from the left. But the siege tank still anchoring this bush really nice. This is super difficult to deal with. Do still have this stasis ward here. Goblins pumping out more and more stalkers. They have the blink, +1 is about to finish. And they can peel really well for the siege tanks of uThermal. And these lings trying to get some SCV kills. Some friendly fire as well. How many SCVs are dead? 10 SCVs did die. Big blinking from Goblin. Very nice. Oh my god, that siege tank does get clicked down in the end there. And now there's 3 oracles even to support. They don't turn on their laser beams as of yet, but there's only a few Marines. But they just don't have that much energy. A couple laser beams now being shot, clicking down. The Ravagers and uThermal also coming out of the siege tank mode, just running down their opponents, and that attack was held. And what is Wayne doing behind it? He droned up a third base. He's getting a roach speed and +1 range, so he wants to play pretty similar to game number 1. It's not going to go into the meter. It's not going to go into the Banelings. And Milkicow, what are you doing? More barracks. Is one factory siege tanking it up? That is going to be interesting. Sometimes you do see the double fact, especially if your Zerg opponent's also making more of just a grunt army. Like, Wayne is basically making poor man's bio as well, with roaches, maybe hydras later. So if you focus on bio yourself, you really have to go like super drop heavy, I feel like. Because otherwise you just have a chonky army that if you run into a siege line set up by uThermal, then it just doesn't really benefit you. It's just more picks to the slaughter, more cannon fodder. And uThermal, 2 timing here onto Wayne. Look at that, Milkicow not in position, and this army, oh my god, the arc as well. Wayne taking a horrific fight, horrendous. Really, do get the 1 corrosive bile to take down that 1 tank, but there's 4 more out here. And Oracle gives a bunch of vision as well. Widowmine goes down at Wayne. I don't think you can defend this base at all. The tanks of Milkicow are here, but can't really do anything. Oh my god, Wayne just runs in! And Milkicow also stims in, but all of the bio is clumped up. Wayne just wants to keep this base. He thinks that if I lose this base, we lose the game. And Milkicow is trying to make that not happen, but Goblin walks in, clicks down the base. And Wayne, oh my god, all of his drones try to go to his 4th base that he greedily took at the top there. They don't have any map control no more. And all of the tanks get gone on there. Milkicow, half his army was inside of the medevacs, and that pounce from Goblin was amazing. We have a couple hydras coming out, but Wayne effectively on 2 bases, 38 drones. He's making more drones. It's like, well, I can't play the game. I don't have an economy. 2025 StarCraft right here. And uThermal has 3 bases, Goblin has 3 bases, and they are just pushing out this tank stalker force. which, you know, the Stalkers are also kind of poor man's bio, but then more mobile and can even deal with a little bit of air, can deal with the Liberators, for example. We even have the Speed Zealots as well. Gateway Man is pretty strong in 2v2 if your control is godlike. Goblin, are you carrying once again? I mean, I made the title of that just because I thought it was funny for the last video. Oh, that bio from Milkicow does a lot of damage. Does it have a bunch of upgrades? It does have the 1-1 and stim against the 1-1 of Goblin, I think. No, 2-0. So both sides do have 1-1. We do see +1 coming out from Milky, or +2 coming out. Fourth base is down. Mark, or uThermal going for the drops. Nice siege tank placement here by Milkicow. Look at that. This one tank, making sure this drop can't do too much. Couple drones will go down, but that was honestly pretty clean defense. Fourth base is being reestablished. The third base actually starts mining again. These drones probably want to go to a different base, but I mean, Milkicow and Wayne are in this game. They are in it somehow. 33 drones were lost, but 20 SCVs have died from uThermal, so I guess the siege on the left was pretty effective in thinning out the SCV count from uThermal. We did see him make a lot of SCVs in game number 1 as well, or game number 2 as well, so I feel like because he goes a little mech heavy early, he just has the minerals to build all of those SCVs. As long as your SCV count is healthy, I guess you can stay in the game. At least you have an economy. Ooh, these Hydras are gonna get caught. They don't seem to have the speed upgrade either. No, they do not. Do see a Lurker Den coming up and a Hive, but these Hydras are just completely dead. And uThermal is really, really exploding into the supply and the army count, just like in game number 1, or game number 2, Wayne did. Oh my god. This drop from Milkicow not really finding any damage, and really cool. Goblin and uThermal are just kind of like maneuvering their armies separately. Milkicow and Wayne not able to pounce on them because Wayne doesn't have like the most mobile army, doesn't like focus on a lot of Zerglings. And with Milkicow's bio, it's pretty difficult. Like, they're fast, sure, but not that fast. And they really need a good 2v2 or a 2-on-1 action. Oh my god, the storms on Milkicow's army there. A lot of Marines go down. Wayne does get a decent fight there, but retreats because he is afraid. And now does get a decent fight with Goblin. Go, go, go! No! uThermal now comes in, and all of a sudden, Wayne, you are surrounded because you didn't go into the bottom here. And oh my god, the big stim, the +2 is coming in and is... Oh, not even done yet, but this is overwhelming force. And didn't even need the +2 on the bio of uThermal. His supply is just so high. And runs in, completely cleans up the fight there. And that's what the end of a 2v2 looks like. The Vipers were coming out, but can't save the day this time around. And Goblin and uThermal take that third game, move on to the round of 4. I think they're playing against Max Pax and Spirit. But before that, we are going to cover the other round of 4 game, just to make sure that we get some other players outside of just uThermal and Goblin, you know. So I hope you guys enjoyed. That was pretty rough for Wayne and Milkicow. They did a pretty cool attack here, but the delaying tactics by Goblin and uThermal coming out clutch. Like the cloaked stasis wards, the cloaked banshees, and the limited vision that their opponents had. Milkicow 2 orbitals, and Wayne didn't even have a lair. Couldn't get any vision at all. Couldn't make an overseer. And I guess you can like bring a drone, build a hatchery, cancel it, make a spore, but it just doesn't work. Like, it only gives vision as well if it's rooted. Would be kind of funny, honestly, if a spore that was unrooted still gave vision, because then you would probably walk it with your army in some games, especially if you're like hatch tech and you don't want to lose to like DT rush or anything. That's kind of neat, but we don't live in that world. Goblin and uThermal bringing out the bio on uThermal as well. We saw mech in the first 2 games, but this time around didn't go that hard on the Hellions, and it really paid off that he went into the tanks, a little bit more defensive, but went into a stable bio game. The drops did pretty well, and of course, I mean, holding off that first assault really put them in a good position, and then shutting down this third base, taking the better fights, getting the 2-on-1s onto Wayne twice at least. Just really well played, and congratulations to Mark and Goblin. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.